Hello and welcome back to Matt's Mission Marine, your home for my take on boats, waterways, and conversations along the way. We're going to do a countdown here in the month of December with my 5 favorite videos. The first video we have out of my favorite 5 videos, it takes us back to Mission 3. We had some audio issues with it, however this video is very special to me due to the special guest that we had, my dad. We're going to bring it back out to you today. So strap on those life vests and let's get going. Today, we're going to be talking to a special member of the boating community, my dad. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that like button. What was that like back then?
It was very nice. We just fishing for, brim, crappie, bass, just fishing on a paddle boat, fishing with fishing worms or fly rod or spinning rod, just having a good time, getting out in nature, spending some time with my dad. When I was a bit, had to take it. I was biting just a little bit here. My dad taught me at a very and I and some of their friends went down a couple times and carpet fishing. That was really fun and exciting. Went out and fished under the 7 Mile Bridge. Caught some really nice fish. Saw some water spouts out in the ocean. We just had a lot of time, a lot of good times. And my sons caught a little terrapin on a fly rod. And we fought it for about 2.5 hours, which was really nice and exciting. Actually took the 1966 Thunderbird down there and we fished out of it. Like I said, it's been around the block 2 times. And we always have a good time. And we enjoy going to Key West, going to the Outer Banks, just wherever. When the boys were small, we used to do a lot of camping. Get off work and try it out here and pack up the tent and grab some hot grill and go down to Atlantic Beach or Okotoks, go fishing, just have a great time. I have to say a rooster tail. Down in Costa Rica, I call it a rooster tail. The first time I ever heard of a rooster fish, but that was extremely interesting, and they are extremely good fighting fish. And that was really interesting ordeal. And on that same trip, we went swimming with the they call them spinner dolphins. And there was about 1,000 of those out there. And we stopped the boat and we all jumped out and went swimming with the dolphins for about 40 or 45 minutes. So that was a lot of fun. But I guess probably the most interesting thing of it all was down at Moorhead, fishing one afternoon, one evening, and the sun was going down, and I thought I hung a big old fish, and it turned out to be a pelican. And the sun was going down, and I couldn't really see fighting and the hollering. I didn't know whether to bring it in or cut the line. Finally got it in and found out I had my line when I threw it out that side of the pelican. One of the boys brought it in, grabbed it, and we got the hook out of it and set it free, so we didn't hurt it or anything. So that was quite a cool deal. Went up to Alaska maybe 10 years ago. We went with a mission trip with the North Carolina Men's Association, Baptist Student Association, and we were building a church. Built a church in Palmer, Alaska. And the contractor for the trip, for the building, was also a fishing and hunting guy. So we convinced him to take us fishing one afternoon. He didn't really charge us anything. He was 11 of us out fishing. And I thought I understood the rules, and I thought I knew something about fishing. But as it turned out, I wasn't as smart as I thought I was. Maybe I was smarter than I thought I was. The game warden ended up getting in, and he thought he had a present. He got me for catching too many fish, and I didn't really keep any of them. Couldn't find out in Alaska the salmon, until you take him out of the water, that's considered a catch. So according to the game warden who was watching me with binoculars, I think called 6. I didn't personally keep any of them. And then he also got me for party fishing. I wasn't sure what that was, but he said party fishing where I catch a fish and I give it to one of my friends. I thought I weren't catching anything, and I was, so they wanted to take some back, and I didn't, but I didn't see anything wrong with it. That's a violation. And then he also got me for snagging. In Alaska with the salmon, you're supposed to just throw it out there and just reel it in real slow, and if something hits it and grabs it, that's great, but you can't snatch on them or anything. Of course, being from North Carolina, if something bites my hook, I'll pull on it, kind of set to it. And apparently that's what I was doing in Alaska. I caught one in the ear or in the back or something like that. So that was a violation. And then he also now this is kind of bad. I filed that a bit, but he said I was cruel to the salmon. I wouldn't be cruel to the salmon. He said, yeah, you kicked a salmon. That's not true. and I pushed a salmon out in the deep water because the water was too shallow, and he was having trouble getting back in the water after I took the hook out of his mouth. So anyway, he said I was cruel to the salmon. But then he asked me, well, what was the last salmon you caught? Off on that string, about 6 or 8 on the string. That'd be nice. So he took the top off, and of course it was the last one we caught. He was very much alive, and it was jumping and trying to get away from him. And the ranger, he picked up the rock and just beat him upside the head until he killed him. And I was thinking, that's not really cruel to the salmon. But I figured maybe I should leave well enough alone. But then, he had me for 6 different tickets. Then they got ready to leave, so it was 11 of us, and it was about 11 o'clock at night. It was, getting on toward dark. And I asked him, I said, y'all going back to the dock? He said, yeah. I said, do you mind if I catch a ride with you? And he said, no, that'll be fine. So, not even thinking, I just got in the boat with him and started back to the dock. It was about a half mile away. And I looked, and all my friends were lined up on the side of the creek there, looking at me like they thought I had been arrested. And I thought somebody said, gee, maybe I should hold my hands up and wave at them, bye. So that was quite an experience on my trip to Alaska. The thing I can tell them is to be patient, try to do your homework, try to decide what you want to do, what kind of fishing you want to do, and do your homework, like I said, watch videos and stuff. Be patient, like I said, be tolerant of each other, what you do, we do catch and enjoy the feel of being out there, and hopefully the pleasure of having somebody to do it. Yeah, sure. And that is good. I'm so proud of my boys that they like to fish and that they don't mind me going with them. To me, that's one of the most special things in the world. Just my age, me still be able to go out and go fishing with my boys and us all have fun together and go to various places fishing. And to me, that's just an outstanding situation.
Thank you for taking time to get to know this special fisherman. As you can tell, Dad has decades of experience and stories to share. I hope you all enjoyed the conversation as much as I did. Thank you for enjoying us on my favorite 5 countdown. Thank you to all the subscribers and to everyone that's watching our content we're putting out. If you haven't subscribed, please take a minute to do that now. Make sure that you not only subscribe, but you ring the bell, get all the notifications so that you don't miss any content going forward. Until next time, stay safe out there on the water, and I'll be seeing you soon.